I don't want to be one of those archaic guys that say, home, games will always be on consoles and PCs and nothing else. But I really don't feel like games are going to catch on with cell phones until there's some way to integrate a controller that everyone uses. So let me jump right into my news story. My story comes from Shack News and is written by Robert Workman. The Electronic Arts, Disney, and many others have joined on with Apple's new mobile devices as developers for their games. From Epic Games, EA, GamesLoft, Ubisoft, Digital Legends, Rebellion, and many others, they have decided to join in developing for the company's new 64-bit powered processing. However, shout out to Linus Tech Tips. If you're curious about 64-bit versus 32-bit, you can get all your information there. I'll give you a little bit of a summary. 32-bit constrains how many switches you can have on and off at one time. Also constrains how many, not how many, but how much RAM you can have. So with 64 bits, you can have limitless potential of RAM. Look, just understand, 64-bit is the future. We're going to 64-bit, but it's all about money, so many people are still hanging on to 32-bit because rewriting an application to 64-bit, it's very difficult, and basically you would have to create a whole new application to utilize the 64 bits architecture and the maximum amount of RAM possible. So it would cost a lot more money to make and implement a whole new program across a huge chain of nations, for example, like a UPS. So instead, they just patch it for 64-bit. But the problem is that with 64-bit, you know, on a phone, phones, generally speaking, don't have more than 2 to 3 gigabytes of RAM right now. And the whole point of 32-bit is that you can't really recognize past 3.5 to 4 gigabytes of RAM. There's a lot more in-depth talk and education that you can get from this. It's very interesting stuff, but please go to someone else because I'm not a professor. I just know what I learned at college. And again, Linus Tech Tips does explain it very well. So check out his Tech Quickie, 32-bit and 64-bit processing. Tell him Protomario sent you if you want to learn more about that. However, basically, the problem is that all these developers are hopping aboard because now there's this 64-bit processing and new A8 technology for the iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus. Yet, there's still a problem. Because these games and game developers are going to be coming out on the iPhone, there's the issue of a controller. And that's what the issue's always been. I've been a prominent proponent of including a controller with your iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. Now, I know it's probably not going to be the sleekest thing in the world to throw in a controller in that tiny little box, so it would be better suited to just bring it separately and just put them together. So when you buy an iPhone 6, you get a wireless Bluetooth controller. Now, the controller's design could be simple, but it basically needs to be just like an Xbox 360's controller or Xbox One. That's the staple. That's the standard. Every person that picks up that controller can basically get very used to it. It's a very good controller. So, with those button layouts, the stick layouts, its simplistic design and nature of getting used to, I can see the iPhone 6 and its games taking over the market and taking a market by storm if they paired a controller with it. Now, for everyone else out there, you know, I just don't see it. I don't see anything taking over the cell phone market just because you have 64-bit processing or 32-bit processing. It's never been about how good you can make your game graphics look, how much memory you can use. My lord, just take a look back at the PlayStation 3. Gee, that was the clear winner of that console war, wasn't it? No, it wasn't. It's always been about the games and how the games look in comparison with the gameplay and controls. So even if you have the worst looking game in the world, as long as it controls pretty well, it works. Minecraft is not the most gorgeous looking game, and yet people love playing it. I can say it about tons and tons of games. RPGs like Final Fantasy. Well, not the newer ones, but the older ones. You know, you understand what I'm saying. We've had this argument and discussion before. Graphics don't make the game. You know, it's like that old saying, if the shoes make the man. Yes, outward appearances are not always as they seem. So, as I've stated before, I would be excited if they started pairing controllers with cell phones. And not one proprietary controller. I'm introducing the iController, and it's basically a ripoff of the Xbox 360, just white. No. One controller for every cell phone. Every cell phone. Get that staple out there. And once you have that staple out there, then the game developers can develop for the controller. You don't have to emulate controls now, you know. And then on top of that, you can use the tilt motion, you can use the gyroscope, you can use the touchscreen, but you'll always have that controller, and that is the issue. Now, many people probably won't bring that controller with them places, and I understand that, but still including it would unite all developers abroad, all of the cell phones out there, and allow for mobile gaming to take new height. So that's just my opinion. I feel that that's the way that things need to go, because currently I don't know a single person who is dying to play a mobile game. I don't. I've talked to many people, and many of my friends, associates, even my parents have smartphones, and they don't really play games. Not on the cell phone. No. They don't care about them. I think I play like Angry Birds every now and again, but I don't even play cell phone games. So, ladies and gentlemen, please let me know your opinions down in the section below. Do you think a packing controller would make the iPhone 6 work? Or do you think just the 64-bit processing and the A8 technology and the new technology that's coming out is going to drive game sales up to the mountaintop? Please let me know in the section below. And I've been your host, Protomario, and I'm signing out. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy gaming. Thanks for watching my video, and please consider joining the Maverick Rebellion today. Together, my subscribers are more than just people. We are Mavericks who desire to change the gaming stereotypes and bring a better sense of community to YouTube. Individually, we can accomplish so much, but united, we can change how the world views gaming. Please consider joining our cause and subscribe today, and you'll be part of something bigger. You'll be part of an army and part of a rebellion against injustice. Mavericks unite. I am Protomario, and I approve this message.